Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour, the second day of vibrant Gujarat Global Summit today. Various investments announced on day one. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh calls on British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. A 10th community reception in London, says Bharat now is a strategic power. UN Security Council strongly condemns Houthi attacks on Red Sea shipping, demands immediate end to the attacks. And in sports, India to face Afghanistan in the first T20 international in the northern Indian city of Mohali. Virat Kohli to miss the first test, the first match. The 10th edition of Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit 2024 is underway in western Indian city of Gandhinagar. The summit is seeing participation from around 130,000 delegates from 140 countries over 2 days and is witnessing deals and MOUs worth billions of dollars. Speaking about his first experience at the Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit, German ambassador to India, Dr. Philipp Ackermann, said that Indo-German trade relations are very good and there is emphasis on industries providing green, sustainable solutions and startups in this area.
We're joined in by the German ambassador to India, Dr. Philipp Ackermann. Thank you so much, sir, for talking to DD India. We are here at the Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit in Gandhinagar. What do you have to say about the summit? We are here at the German Pavilion, which is one of the part or components, we can say, of the global trade show.
So first of all, I must say the summit was quite an event. Very well organized with a great show at the beginning. I was very intrigued by the films and very beautiful. Then the Prime Minister came and spoke, but also other dignitaries. The Czech Prime Minister was there, the President of the UAE was there. So I think it's a great event internationally and nationally and shows how vibrant and dynamic Gujarat is.
So what do you have to say about German businesses in Gujarat and in general the trade relationship between India and Germany? Besides that, we also saw your pictures of visiting the Nivea plant.
Yeah. So first of all, Indo-German trade relations are very good. We have completed by the end of this year a trade volume of 35 billion, which makes us by far the largest EU trading partner, one of the largest trading partners of India. And I think these numbers are going to go up in the next years. There's a renewed interest. There's a new attention towards India from the German government, by the German business. And Gujarat is certainly part of this. So there is much more German business that one would expect in Gujarat. I'm very confident that it is not the last time I visit Gujarat.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, for talking to us. Thank you for your time.
The future lies with green energy, and both Finland and India can contribute a lot towards this. Speaking exclusively to DD India correspondent Vishal Baristo at the Vibrant Gujarat Global Investors Summit, the Finnish ambassador says that India, with its strong market, and Finland, with its expertise in green energy, can set a role model for the future economies.
I think those really are certainly the most potential areas of cooperation, and we also have developed a concept that we call DESI, which comes from digitalization, education, sustainability and innovation. And I think that says a lot about how we also see the possibilities for cooperation.
India and the UAE have a long and a strong economic and historic bond. Speaking to DD India correspondent Vishal Baristo at the Global Investors Summit in the Indian city of Gandhinagar, the Chief Investment Officer from the Royal Office of Sharjah said that the visit of the President of UAE to the Indian state of Gujarat proves that the two economies are growing better and stronger. Pranav Jyoti, Chief Investment Officer in the Royal Office of Sharjah, expressed his viewpoints. Let's listen in.
Vibrant Gujarat has been or rather is the gateway to growth. And I have with me the Chief Investment Officer from UAE. He's representing the Ras Al Khaimah from Sharjah. How do you see things? Because India is the largest investor in the UAE as far as the region is concerned.
The India-UAE corridor has been not only a key focus for the world, but also between our great relationships over the last 50-odd years. We've not only been investing in human capital, but also within areas in healthcare, infrastructure, real estate, and also in areas that will make both these communities, and I say that with a lot of rigor because they work as one family. And as one family, not only the focus is to build a better world, but also to create investment opportunities for each other. And with virtually 80% of people in UAE from India, and also a lot of people that are appreciating companies that are making the bridge between India and UAE and bringing the world together. As we say, bring the West closer to the East with Middle East and India.
India has also signed CEPA, the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement with UAE, and both the countries, they are planning to take the bilateral trade to $100 billion. Now talking about Sharjah, tell us how much interest does that mean to you?
Oh, as the part of the extended royal family of Sharjah and Ras Al Khaimah, we are very clear that the focus on investment which have human capital which revolves around retail, education, healthcare, infrastructure, low volume activities, non-urban activities is a key focus for us to build a next generation of investment path between the two countries, leveraging the world coming together.
With cameraman Jagmohan and Kamlesh in Gandhinagar, this is Vishal Baristo for TD India.
Thank you. Thank you.
Norway is a partner country for Vibrant Gujarat. The Norway Pavilion at the Vibrant Gujarat Global Trade Show showcases the possibilities in renewables and circular economy. The Norwegian businessmen are also looking at investments in the ports in Gujarat. DD India correspondent Meghna Dev speaks to Ambassador of Norway to India for more.
We're joined in by the Norwegian ambassador to India. Thank you so much, ma'am, for talking to us. We are here at the Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit, and we're here at the stall at the Pavilion of Norway. What's on display? What are we looking at in terms of business in Gujarat?
Let me first say how happy I am to be here at the Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit, and also very pleased that Norway is a partner country and that we have a part of this pavilion. There are currently 130 Norwegian companies in India, also some of them here in Gujarat, and this is why we have the pavilion to look at what are the possibilities and to showcase the possibilities.
So when we're talking about specifically Scandinavian countries, we talk about more sustainable energy and partnerships, collaborations in that sector. How do you look at that collaboration between Norway and India? And second, the trade relationship that both the countries.
Regarding the trade relationship, we are currently negotiating with India, Norway within the EFTA framework to have a free trade agreement, and we hope to conclude that soon. And of course that will open up also several other new possibilities. Norway is looking quite a lot at the energy side, so those are areas quite innovative where we also have some companies looking into investing in India. Well, I mentioned the free trade agreement, and if we are able to conclude that quite soon, that will create a lot of confidence among Norwegian companies in the Indian market, even more than we have, and there will be a big increase in the interest for India among Norwegian companies, and those are within the areas that I have mentioned.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, for talking to us. Thank you for your time.
Notably, the Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit saw industry captains pledging investments worth over 2.38 lakh crore rupees on the inaugural day itself. The announcements were mostly made in the sectors of green mobility, renewable energy and semiconductors. The leaders promising the investment lauded Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his vision and for creating an institutionalized framework that has made this into a global event. India and Korea have a strong cultural and historic bond from the days of Ramayana. DD India correspondent Vishal Barrister spoke to a Korean delegate at the Global Summit in Gandhinagar. Let's listen in.
You spoke about Ram Temple and Korea relation. Tell us about that.
About the Ram Mandir, between India and Korea, we have this Princess of Ayodhya who came to Korea 2,000 years ago, who got married to Korean king. Today, more than the population of Sweden is descendants of this Princess of Ayodhya. And when I went to Ayodhya temple in February 2023, I learned that Princess of Ayodhya is connected to Lord Ram. And many people in Korea, they don't know about it. So in that sense, I made a proposal last year at Foreign Correspondents Club of East Asia in New Delhi to make a Ram temple in South Korea.
The Ram Temple in the Indian pilgrim city of Ayodhya is all set for a grand inauguration on the 22nd of this month. A stone carving workshop has been organized in a build-up to the event in the holy city, where rural women have been employed in stone carving work. Let's take a look.
In the workshop where the stones are being rubbed and carved before it is made into a final pillar which is installed in Sri Ram temple. And here you can see there are several females from around the vicinity of Ayodhya, and they come here every morning doing this way of their offering their worship towards Lord Rama. गीता जी, कब से आप आ रही हैं इस कार्यशाला में, इस वर्कशॉप में काम करने?
यहाँ पर हम लोगों को 1.5 साल हो गया है काम करते हुए। 1.5 साल से हम लोग यहाँ पर काम कर रहे हैं।
सुबह से शाम तक आप लोग यहाँ काम करते हैं?
सुबह हम लोग 8 बजे यहाँ पर आ जाते हैं और 5:10 पे छुट्टी हो जाती है। बहुत अच्छा लगता है हम लोग को यहाँ पे काम करने में, और प्रभु की सेवा करने का अवसर मिला है हमें ये, और यहाँ पे काम करके हमें बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है।
These women from the several villages of Ayodhya are giving to Lord Sri Rama. We will talk to other workers also who are here and involved in this stone work since morning. Several female workers are here in this stone carving work.
मेरा कार्य मैं फिनिशिंग का काम करती हूँ, ये त्रास रही हूँ पत्थर। जी, काला है उसको व्हाइट करना है, राम जन्मभूमि में जाएगा।
Hundreds of rural women are being deployed here in this workshop. They are happy with the fact that they are getting employment, but at the same time they are satisfied because they are offering all their services to Lord Sri Ram in establishment of Sri Ram temple. With camera person Shiv Suman, I am Kriti Vadhera reporting from Ayodhya Dham for DD India.
The United Arab Emirates on Wednesday acknowledged the praise from India for joining the BRICS group on January 1st this year. The development came on the day India and the UAE released a joint statement over Saudi President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan's official visit to the country to attend the vibrant Gujarat Global Summit in Ahmedabad. The UAE also reaffirmed its commitment to working closely with India and other member states and realizing the shared objectives of BRICS. Let's change track now. On the second and final day of his United Kingdom visit, India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh met UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak in London. With an insight to boost India-UK ties and deepening cooperation between both the countries, Rajnath Singh also met UK Foreign Secretary David Cameron on Wednesday. And on the last day of his UK visit, India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh attended a community reception at India House in London. Citing a recent article published in Chinese Global Times hailing India's growth story, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh asserted that the Chinese government now accepts that India cannot be ignored at the global level.
I believe that the courage shown by our Jawan during the standoff with Chinese troops at Galwan Valley in Arunachal Pradesh helped alter Beijing's perspective on Bharat. We are no more a weak country in the eyes of the world. We are a rising global power.
After the recent visit of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the Lakshadweep Islands, inquiries about the island have skyrocketed over the internet. A large number of bookings have increased in the Bengaram Islands in the last few days. The online travel portal Make My Trip says that there is a whopping 3,400% surge in searches for Lakshadweep after Prime Minister's recent visit. The visit of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Lakshadweep has seen a record-breaking surge in online searches for Lakshadweep Islands. The archipelago, famed for its pristine beauty, has seen an unprecedented spike in views on its Wikipedia page, soaring from an average of under 2,000 to a staggering 700,000 views in just 4 days, starting from January 5th. Now, as per statistics by Google Trends, under the tourist destination category, Lakshadweep saw a major spike in Google searches, particularly on 8th January, with a 100% increase alone on that day. We're heading for a short break, but still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. Violence surges in Ecuador. Number of arrests have been made after the army was deployed to restore law and order. White House plans to send an unofficial delegation for Taiwan elections. And UN demanded Yemen's Houthis to immediately end attacks on ships in the Red Sea.
In a world that never stops, where information shapes our reality, one app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis, and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world, one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights, and authentic.
As the bone-chilling cold wave continued to sweep several regions of North India, Delhi experienced its coldest day this winter. A yellow alert has been sounded for the national capital on Wednesday, with a maximum temperature likely to be around 16 degrees Celsius. The western disturbance influenced other parts of the northern plains and brought drizzle to isolated locations in the city. IMD said dense fog conditions were very likely to prevail in Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Uttar Pradesh from 10th to 14th of January. And in Jammu Division, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, North Rajasthan, North Madhya Pradesh, Odisha and parts of East and Northeast India. The Met Office also predicted cyclonic circulation lying over southeast and adjoining East Central Arabian and a trough running from this cyclone circulation to South Gujarat at low tropospheric levels. India's Kashmir Valley is experiencing an unusual and unprecedented change in the weather. Usually this time around, Kashmir would be carpeted in a white layer, and tourist resorts such as Gulmarg, Pahalgam and Sonmarg would typically have accumulated ample snow by this time of the year. But this season, the Kashmir Valley is facing a dry spell with no snow or rain in the valley. The Met Department says there is around 75% rainfall deficit through December and January, and the world-famous ski resort Gulmarg slopes are looking barren with no snow cover. All right, to get us more on the weather scenario there in Kashmir, we're joined in by our correspondent Shabir Das. Shabir, good morning. We tell our viewers that Kashmir Valley is facing cold conditions, but there is dearth of snow this time around. Let's hear from you. How is the morning there today in Kashmir?
Yeah, rightly said, as you rightly said, that there is no snow in Srinagar. The mornings are very cold, even, nights are chilly, but the days are, milder this season, Kashmir is in the grip of a harsh winter season, which is Chalai Kala, the 40 days winter, period, which usually is very harsh, and we see a lot of snow in this time. But this year, it is unprecedented and unusual that there is no snow this time, and, Kashmir is, witnessing and experiencing milder days like which is very unusual. Tourists who are like, who had come from different parts of the country, Kashmir, to experience this and to see Kashmir carpeted, I directly said, in the light layer, but there is no snow this time. Met officials have predicted that the dry weather season will continue for more weeks time, and the tourists and both locals are very very worried, not seeing the snow this time. Snow is related to the tourism, because when there is lot of snow, more tourists will come here, and this will actually infuse the economy of the Kashmir. Not only the economy, but even the agriculture is dependent on snow. If it snows in the winter, we will have huge discharge of water in the summer seasons, which will ensure that the agriculture will have a bumper crop in the summer seasons. But as Met has predicted that the dry spell will continue for a week's time, fingers are crossed for both tourist players and tourists who are here. They have been waiting to actually witness the snow, but we hope that after the week's dry season, Kashmir experiences the snowfall to bring cheer to both tourists and locals here.
All right, Shabir, the scathing effects of climate change are being witnessed in Kashmir. But let us get more from you. Is it only through these 2-3 months of the winter season that Kashmir experiences extreme snowfall? Because we're talking of the world-famous ski resort of Gulmarg, Pahalgam, Sonmarg. How is it there in other months of the year? And also, how has the Met Department predicted till when will this dry spell continue? Because you tell us that this will continue for some days from here on, but what next?
See, we have the world, famous ski resort in Gulmarg. This time around, that ski resort is very jam-packed with both tourists and skiers. But as you know, that there is no snow in the plains of Kashmir and in the hills of Kashmir. So Met has also already predicted that the dry season will continue, and as you rightly said, that this is a result of the global warming phenomenon. The weather phenomenon globally has experienced a change, and this has resulted in less snow in Kashmir, no snow in plains, and little snow in the higher regions in mountains. Like if we talk about the tourist spots like Gulmarg, Pahalgam, and Sonmarg, there has been little or no snow till now. Gulmarg is completely barren this time around, and Met Department is also predicting that this year the snow will be low or very very low. So this augurs very bad for the tourist players and the skiers who are waiting with the bated breath to see Gulmarg getting the ample snow, so that the skiers will have the field day in Gulmarg.
All right, Shabir, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those details. So that was our correspondent Shabir Dar joining us from Kashmir. Up next, we take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across India. New Delhi's Kartavya Path is flocked up early in the morning for the rehearsals ahead of India's Republic Day parade, with contingents marching shoulder to shoulder amidst cold wave conditions. The Delhi police has also issued a traffic advisory on Wednesday in view of the Republic Day parade rehearsal. In a first, the Border Security Forces all-women contingent and brass band contingent will participate in India's Republic Day parade at Kartavya Path in New Delhi. The BSF calls it a Mahila Foot contingent, comprising of 147 women members belonging to almost every state of the country. A stunning light show was held at Gandhinagar's Mahatma Mandir Convention Centre in India, depicting India-UAE friendship. The scintillating light show depicted the unique friendship that India and the UAE share. The light show took place during the ongoing Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit, which is being held from 10th to 12th January. The 5th Water Bird Census and Kaziranga Bird Conservation Festival began in Kaziranga Tiger Reserve on Wednesday with the participation of hundreds of enumerators, students and volunteers. The bird census has started in 118 wetlands with the final figures to come out in the next 2 to 3 days. The park is renowned for its significant water bird population, particularly the bar-headed goose. The US and the UK forces shot down 21 drones and missiles fired by Houthis on Tuesday. The incident took place in the southern Red Sea in the direction of the international shipping lanes. The US Navy reported no injuries or damage. It is said that this was the 26th attack by Houthis on commercial shipping lanes in the Red Sea since the 19th of November last year. Attacks by Houthis have been extraordinarily disruptive to international shipping, causing some companies to suspend transits through the Red Sea and instead take the much longer, costlier journey around Africa.
In response to Yemen's Houthi attack in Red Sea, UK and US naval forces stepped up vigils and shot down 21 drones and missiles fired by Yemeni pirates. It was the largest attack in the area by the militants since Israel and Hamas conflict in Gaza. Imagery from British Ministry of Defence showed military personnel on HMS Diamond overseeing the firing of Sea Viper missiles. British Defence Minister Grant Shapper said on Wednesday that the overnight Royal Navy ship HMS Diamond, along with US warships, successfully repelled the largest attack from the Iranian-backed Houthi in the Red Sea to date.
Well, we do know that Iran is behind so much of, I'm afraid, the bad things that are happening in that region. And there have been reports, I've seen them on social media as well, about how Iran are providing effectively the eyes and the ears, the radar systems through ships and other things, and certainly the equipment to the Houthis who are using it to attack shipping. So we call on Tehran, but also directly on the Houthis. This absolutely must stop.
US Central Command said no injuries nor damage were reported, adding that this was the 26th Houthi attack on commercial shipping lanes in the Red Sea since November 19. The Houthi, who control most of the Yemen, have been targeting the route to show their support for Hamas. Italian Defense Minister has also said that the Houthi attack on Red Sea shipping must be stopped without triggering a new war. Germany too strongly condemned the latest attack on vessels in the Red Sea. German Foreign Minister spokesperson said the attack showed that the Houthi are clearly focusing on escalation against international merchant shipping and the ships of our partners and allies in the region. Meanwhile, Yemen's Houthi claimed to have attacked a US ship providing support to Israel with a large number of ballistic and naval missiles and drones.
The Yemenis Houthis armed forces continue to prevent Israeli ships or those heading to the ports of occupied Palestine from navigating in the Arabian Sea and the Red Sea until the aggression is halted and the blockade is lifted from our steadfast brothers in the Gaza Strip. We emphasize our full commitment to the continuity of maritime traffic in the Arabian Sea and the Red Sea to all destinations except the ports of occupied Palestine.
The United States and the other countries last month launched Operation Prosperity Guardian to protect civilian vessels in one of the most important trade routes in the world. Syed Afsarul Hassan reporting for DD India.
The UN Security Council has demanded that Yemen's Houthis immediately end the attacks on ships in the Red Sea, calling navigational rights and freedom in the Red Sea a global challenge.
The threat to navigational rights and freedoms in the Red Sea is a global challenge that necessitates a global response. The basic principle of freedom of navigation is at stake, and the Houthis and anyone who enables them need to hear a clear message from this council. These attacks must stop.
Security Council also called on the Houthis to release the Galaxy Leader, a Japanese-operated vehicle carrier linked to an Israeli businessman, along with its 25-person crew.
Houthis have repeatedly attacked commercial vessels with advanced weaponry, such as anti-ship ballistic missiles, drones, and small boats. The Houthi have also seized the Japanese-operated Galaxy Leader and continues to hold the ship and its crew for nearly 50 days. Once again, we strongly demand the Houthis to release the vessel and its crew immediately and unconditionally.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said that there will be consequences for continued attacks in the Red Sea by Yemeni Houthis. Blinken accused Iran of aiding Houthis' Red Sea attacks and also called for Iran to stop supporting the rebel group.
We've been clear with more than 20 other countries that if this continues, as it did yesterday, there will be consequences, and I'm going to leave it at that. These attacks have been aided and abetted by Iran with technology, equipment, intelligence, information, and they are having a real-life impact on people.
We're heading for a short break, but still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour, Hunter Biden makes an unexpected appearance at contempt of Congress hearing. New Bangladesh cabinet will take oath today.
India that invents. India that innovates. India that excites. India that invites. Land of possibility. Teeming with opportunities. Watch India Ideas each Thursday, 8 p.m. only on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour and I'm Preeti. A quick relook at the top stories once again. Second day of vibrant Gujarat Global Summit today. Various investments announced on day one. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh calls on British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, attends community reception in London, says Bharat now is a strategic power. UN Security Council strongly condemns Houthi attacks on Red Sea shipping, demands immediate end to the attacks. In sports, India to face Afghanistan in the first T20 international in the northern Indian city of Mohali. Virat Kohli to miss the first match. Let's take a look at the latest updates on his visit to the United Kingdom. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh tweeted, and I quote him, "Had a very warm meeting with the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak in London. I had the opportunity to discuss a wide range of issues with him. We discussed issues pertaining to defence, economic cooperation and how India and the United Kingdom would work together for strengthening a peaceful and stable global rules-based order." Let's get to updates on Russia-Ukraine war now. 2 Russian missiles struck a hotel in Ukraine's Kharkiv city on Wednesday. Kharkiv Governor Oleh Sinebov said that the strike involved S-300 missiles and 11 people were injured in the attack. Pictures showed many of the windows were blown out and balconies were destroyed with large piles of rubble in the streets. There were Turkish journalists among those injured. Emergency teams made their way through the gaping holes in the facades to sift through the rubble inside. In other updates, Russia's foreign ministry summoned the Moldovan ambassador on Wednesday. Russia issued a protest against unfriendly acts in the latest of a series of jabs exchanged between the Kremlin and the ex-Soviet states' pro-European authorities. Moldovan actions have been criticized for their systematic nature, allegedly directed against Russian citizens. Earlier, Moldova's parliament approved a new defense strategy, identifying Russia and corruption as the 2 biggest threats to the country's security. Moldovan authorities also blocked several politicians representing a banned party with pro-Russian views from taking part in last November's local elections. The United States and 7 other nations accused Russia of exploiting its position as a permanent member of the UN Security Council on Wednesday. It said Russia acquired North Korean missiles and fired them into Ukraine in violation of the Council resolutions.
The United States, along with France,
Japan, Malta, the Republic of Korea, Slovenia, Ukraine, and the United Kingdom issued a joint statement condemning the military cooperation that has now come to fruition between the DPRK and Russia. It's abhorrent that a permanent member of the UN Security Council is flagrantly violating Council resolutions to attack another UN member state, violations that further the suffering of the Ukrainian people, support Russia's brutal war, and undermine the global non-proliferation regime.
Meanwhile, Russia's ambassador to the United States said that the United States seemed to be spreading wrong information that Moscow was firing North Korean missiles at Ukraine. Finland has said that it will be extending the closure of its border with Russia. The current closure of its Russian border was set to expire on January 15th. Finland late last year shut the Russian border to stop a growing number of asylum seekers from entering the Nordic country and said that Moscow had orchestrated the inflow of people. As the violence surges in Ecuador, a number of arrests have been made after the army was deployed to restore law and order in the South American country. Launching a military crackdown on gangs, Ecuadorian armed forces have arrested 329 terrorists and 5 others were killed, while inmates in Ecuador are holding more than 130 prison guards and other staff hostages in at least 5 prisons. Earlier, a few gunmen took over a television station live on air, and explosions erupted around the country on Tuesday in a dramatic wave of fresh violence this week. The hostage-taking began in the early hours of Monday after the apparent escape of a gang leader from the prison over the weekend, spurring Ecuador's President Daniel Noboa to declare a 60-day state of emergency. The sense of calm has been stripped away from the Quito locals as people in Ecuador are struggling since the nation went into a turmoil. Businesses around the Ecuadorian capital of Quito remained closed as few people are braving on the streets amid the uncertainty of violence escalating further. As Ecuador faces gang violence, the Ecuador President Daniel Noboa said that his country is fighting terrorist groups. In an interview to a radio station, Noboa asserted that Ecuador is at war and he cannot cede in the face of these terrorist groups.
It is a non-international armed conflict. We are fighting for a national peace. We are also fighting against terrorist groups, which today number more than 20,000 people. We will not give in to the stupid things that they are used to doing. They, I mean the terrorists who are in these prisons. It is difficult, it is hard, and I also sympathize with the families of the kidnapped officials. We are in a state of war and we cannot give in to these terrorist groups.
The United States has also extended help to the South American country. According to the White House spokesman John Kirby, the United States is monitoring the situation and is willing to cooperate with the Ecuadorian government to deal with the violence, though Kirby has ruled out the possibility of any U.S. military support.
Well, so first of all, our concern is over the violence and seeing that that stops. And as you saw from Mr. Sullivan's tweet, we strongly condemn these recent attacks, and we are committed to helping support security and prosperity for the people of Ecuador. I would just say, look, we're monitoring this situation. We're willing to take concrete steps to improve our cooperation with the government of Ecuador as they begin to deal with the violence and the stressors on the population that this violence has occurred. And I think I'll just leave it at that.
Amid the wave of violence in Ecuador, its neighboring country Peru has also put the guards up. Peruvian police has strengthened its operations on its borders in the northwestern city of Tumbes on Wednesday. According to a Peruvian commander, 400 agents were deployed to the border, along with another 60 officers from Peru's Special Operations National Direction. More reinforcement is also expected later in the day. Meanwhile, the White House plans to send an unofficial delegation to Taiwan following the self-ruled island's presidential and parliamentary elections. However, the participants of the delegation and the timing of their trip are not yet finalized. Taiwan's voters head to the polls on Saturday. Notably, US is in regular touch with all of Taiwan's candidates and expect strong security trade partnerships to continue. They have reiterated that disruption of peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait would seriously damage the global economy. On Wednesday, dozens of US lawmakers co-sponsored legislation praised democracy in Taiwan. The resolution said that resolved that the Senate is committed to supporting Taiwan's self-defense and the liberty of its people through effective deterrence, using all elements of United States power. The resolution has at least 28 Republican and Democratic sponsors in the Senate. The resolution praises Taiwan's rule of law and vibrant civil society, diverse economy and stable political system, and contrasts that with the situation in China. The resolution's sponsors hope it will pass by unanimous consent this week. Bangladesh's new cabinet is expected to take oath on Thursday. President Mohammad Shahabuddin will administer the minister's oath of office. Earlier, Awami League President Sheikh Hasina, who was elected as the leader of the House by the party's newly elected lawmakers, was sworn in on Wednesday as the Prime Minister for her fourth consecutive term. All the 298 newly elected lawmakers of the 12th parliamentary election included 11 Jatiya Party lawmakers and 62 independents also took oath of office on Wednesday. U.S. House Republicans on Wednesday moved towards holding Hunter Biden in contempt of Congress for not testifying in their impeachment probe of his father, President Joe Biden. Republican lawmakers in both the House Oversight and Judiciary Committees held the votes after the younger Biden refused to appear for a closed-door deposition last month, instead saying he would testify publicly, which they rebuffed. House Republicans alleged that the president and his family improperly profited from policy actions in which Biden participated when he was vice president from 2009 to 2017. The White House and Hunter Biden deny any wrongdoing. Hunter Biden faces his own legal troubles. He is due to appear in a Los Angeles federal court on Thursday to face criminal charges of failing to pay $1.4 million in taxes. He also is charged in Delaware with lying about his drug use while buying a handgun. He has pleaded not guilty to the Delaware charges. All right, shifting focus now. A top White House official met on Wednesday with a senior Chinese official, and the two discussed tensions over Taiwan and the South China Sea. The meeting took place in Washington, and the two officials also discussed other global issues, including the Middle East and Russia's conflict against Ukraine. They reaffirmed the support for continued high-level diplomacy and interactions between the United States and China. In Somalia, Al-Shabaab terrorists captured a United Nations helicopter carrying 2 Somali men and several foreigners when it made an emergency landing in an area controlled by the Islamist group. The aircraft encountered a defect shortly after taking off from the Beledweyne city in central Somalia before it landed near Hindair village bordering Galgudud region. The United Nations Assistance Mission in Somalia later confirmed that there had been an incident involving a UN-contracted helicopter that was conducting an air medical evaluation. South Korea's main opposition leader, Lee Jae-myung, faces further setbacks after 3 senior members of his Democratic Party left due to disagreement over his leadership. Lee Jae-myung survived a recent stabbing attack and was discharged from the hospital on Wednesday. He said his stabbing would mark the end of the politics of hate. Meanwhile, former Prime Minister Lee Nak-yeon, a member of the Democratic Party, is expected to hold a news conference on Thursday to announce his plan to launch a new political party. In Papua New Guinea, looters targeted shops and businesses around the capital Port Moresby after a pay dispute involving the nation's security forces sparked angry protests. According to reports, 15 people have died in violent unrest and riots in the capital of Port Moresby and its second largest city, Lae. The government on Wednesday ordered the military to restore order in the capital. Earlier, a police strike on Wednesday over a pay cut that officials blamed on an administrative glitch descended into lawlessness over the day. Papua New Guinea Prime Minister James Marape later clarified that an extra $100 had been deducted from the paychecks of public servants because of the computer glitch, and the government was not raising taxes as the protesters claimed. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has meanwhile called for calm in neighbouring Papua New Guinea on Thursday. Albanese said that Australia was monitoring the situation by its High Commission and had not received any request for help from Papua New Guinea, which it regularly supports in policing and security. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, stay with us as we acquaint you with a one-of-its-kind soccer match never played before. India will face Afghanistan in the first of the three-match T20 series in Mohali on Thursday. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited a flower show at Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit. Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Let's get you updates from the world of business now. As India walks on the path of development, becoming a safe haven for investors, Indian Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that India can emerge as a developed country by 2047 with gross domestic product of $30 trillion, even by a conservative estimate. She also added that India could become world's third largest economy with GDP of over $5 trillion by financial year 2028. Indian Finance Minister was addressing a seminar at the Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit in Gandhinagar, where she pointed at the immense investment opportunities India offers. US stocks rose on Wednesday, building steam on strength in mid-caps, but gains were limited ahead of inflation reports and major bank earnings later in the week. Microsoft, Meta Platforms and Nvidia were the biggest boosts to the S&P 500 index as the benchmark 10-year Treasury note yield held near 4% and a $37 billion auction of the notes drew above average demand. The S&P 500 gained 0.57%, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 0.75%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.45%. The International Monetary Fund and the South American country Argentina have finalized the details of an agreement over the country's embattled $44 billion loan program. The agreement announced on Wednesday will be brought forward for approval by IMF's executive board in the coming weeks. Amidst Argentina's annual inflation heading towards 200%, the new deal will unlock a more than expected $4.7 billion funds for the nation. Argentina's net foreign currency reserves was also in the negative territory. IMF has also approved a new $1.2 billion four-year loan program to support Jordan's economy. Now, this decision will replace the previous loan program that was set to expire this year in March. This new loan program will give Jordan an immediate access to an initial disbursement of about $190 million. with the remaining amount to be phased over the program, subject to the reviews. All right, now we take a look at stories making it to the headlines at the Consumer Electronics Show 2024 that is underway in Las Vegas. A drone soccer match was demonstrated during the show. In drone soccer, 2 teams of 5 compete in 3 sets, each 3 minutes long. Each player maneuvers their own drone, which is enclosed in a ball-shaped case. Players control the drone balls to score and defend against the opposing team. Organizers hope that the game inspires young people to learn how to fly drones. And different from traditional recreational vehicles or RVs that rely on propane and generators were on full display at the show on Wednesday. Founder and CEO of Pebble Flow introduced the vehicle as an all-electric semi-autonomous vehicle and a next-generation smart home, all rolled into one. Also, new AI-powered facial recognition system that reads vital signs contactless was also displayed at the show. The system works through a smartphone. The user opens the system and looks into the camera. From there, it takes as little as 10 seconds for the image recognition AI technology to analyze the pupil movements and face patterns to take several measurements, including pulse rate, oxygen levels, and respiratory rate. After business, we now turn focus to sports. India will face Afghanistan in the first of the 3-match T20 series in Mohali today. Both the sides have lost star players due to different reasons. While India's batsman Virat Kohli would be unavailable for the first match due to personal reasons, he will be back for the second and the third game of the series. On the other hand, Afghanistan all-rounder Rashid Khan will miss the series as he needs more time to recover from a lower back injury that required a surgery. The series marks the final leg of India's preparations for the 2024 T20 World Cup. Rohit Sharma, who has not featured in the shortest format for India since their semi-final exit at the 2022 World Cup in Australia, is back at the helm. Real Madrid defeated Atletico Madrid 5-3 in extra time in a pulsating battle to reach the Spanish Super Cup final. Atletico opened the scoring from a Mario Hermoso header, but Real fought back through Antonio Rudiger and Ferland Mendy before Antoine Griezmann equalized with a brilliant long-range strike. A bad mistake by Real goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga, whose attempt at a clearance hit teammate Rudiger and bounced into the back of the net, restored Atletico's lead, but Dani Carvajal struck to take the match into extra time. With a penalty shootout looming, a header bounced off Stefan Savic into Atletico's net 5 minutes from the end of extra time. In the last play of the match, Brahim Diaz finished off a counter-attack into an empty net. Real will face the winners of Thursday's semi-final between Barcelona and Osasuna in the final in Riyadh on Sunday. Indian men's doubles pair Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty advanced to the second round of the Malaysia Open Super 1000 badminton tournament. The duo were challenged by Indonesian pair of Muhammad Sohibul Fikri and Maulana Bagas. But they managed to overcome the challenge, winning the match 21-18, 21-19. The Indian pair dominated the first game with powerful smashes. They took a 4-point lead at 8-4 and maintained the advantage throughout. The second game was more challenging, with the Indians trailing for most of the match. However, they managed to level the score at 19-all and won the last 2 points to secure victory. But the Asian Games bronze medalist H.S. Pranoy lost to Denmark's Anders Antonsen with a score of 14-21, 11-21. Novak Djokovic and Iga Swiatek have been confirmed as the top seeds in men's and women's singles, respectively, at this year's Australian Open. The Australian Open will be held from January 14 to 28. World number 1 and 10 times winner Djokovic leads the men's group, followed by Carlos Alcaraz. Djokovic has a 42-0 win-loss record. Russia's Daniil Medvedev, 2-time runner-up, and Italy's Yannick Sinner have been seeded 3rd and 4th, respectively. In women's singles, defending champion Aryna Sabalenka is the 2nd seed, behind world number 1 Swiatek. Last year, runner-up Elena Rybakina and defending US Open champion Coco Gauff are 3rd and 4th seeds, respectively. Police officers paraded on open-top buses through Paris to urge authorities to accelerate talks about labour conditions and pay during the 2024 Olympics to be held in the French capital. Police unions have already called for a January 18 strike to voice their discontent ahead of the Games. Starting in late July, the Olympics are set to put further strain on Paris's workforce amid heightened security threats and chronic staffing shortages at police, hospitals and public transport. Some 30,000 police officers and soldiers will be mobilized to secure the opening ceremony on July 26, when some 600,000 people are expected to watch athletes and delegations sail along the Seine River.
All agents of the Interior Ministry have been asked to be everywhere, but they are not told how to be everywhere, and those who cannot be there aren't told how their time will be organized. Today, their state of mind is not 100% in the condition for us to be present at the Olympic Games. That is precisely the point of this social dialogue. And we today are alerting our authorities to tell them, be careful, the police do not think they are ready.
Up next, we take a look at India's Ahmedabad, where Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited a flower show in the ongoing Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit. So up your screens, we have the visuals of Prime Minister acquainting himself with the flowers that are exhibited at the flower show. And even as we speak, we tell you that currently the Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit is underway and it will run from 10 to 12th of January. And yesterday we saw the inaugural ceremony take place, wherein business tycoons, world leaders addressed the gathering, and they talked of how they cherished the relationship of their respective countries with India and how India has risen on the global page as an attractive investment destination. All the leaders, all the speakers at the forum also appreciated and praised Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his exemplary leadership, which has made India a bright spot in the global economy. That's it in this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and also Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.